Hey! Hey, girl. Nope, you won't miss too much at all, and if you do, you can go back and rewatch it. Hi! Just give it a few minutes. Let some folks get on. Sorry, I'm trying to close up 6 shows tonight too, and just got off a training call, so bear with me. And my husband decided to watch a really super loud show in the room, and so I had to come into the room without my tripod, so I'm a little holding my phone, got my computer over here, you know, multitasking at its finest. Hi! Welcome, everybody. Hi, 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 hi. Is everyone ready for Monday? Wah, wah. I'll mute my computer. It's going crazy. You love Mondays. I love Pampered Chef Mondays. Hey everyone, so thanks for joining. We're just getting everybody on here. Oh, back to school. Yeah. Yep, then there's that too. So I hope you learned a lot today on the posts about recruiting. So recruiting is something that I have grown to love, that I was terrified of when I got started. And so I hope that my tips and tricks and things that I have learned along the way, I've gotten a lot of help from a lot of people at Pampered Chef, and I wouldn't have gotten where I am without what they shared with me. And so I hope that what I was able to share with you was helpful for you. If you're on my team, I know it's things that you've heard, but hopefully hearing it again was helpful. Sometimes I have to be reminded of things people have told me 1,000 times. So, but this is a chance, just a Q&A for you guys to ask me any questions that you have. And if there's anything I can answer, help you with your recruiting. Maybe it's how you respond, or maybe it's just asking enough people. So we want to make sure that you're asking enough people, that you get the numbers that you need. Good. Yeah, so like I was saying at the beginning, it's a total numbers game. We want to make sure that you're asking at least 60 people a month, which means that when you are holding parties, hopefully you've got, 5 or 6 parties. We're aiming for 8 for everybody. 8 will make you great. 10 will get you Ben. Have you heard that one? My goal personally for myself is always to get 18 to 20, because that is where I am getting the income level that I need for my family. And so we're wanting to make sure that I keep my calendar booked up well in advance to be able to do that. But whether you are having 5 parties or 10 parties, we want to make sure that you're getting at least 20 to 30 participants at those parties. And if you are reaching out to those, it is really easy to get to 60 people. And of those 60 people, usually you'll get about 6 bookings and about 2 recruits. But that means that you have to ask everybody, and asking sometimes is the hard part because we're afraid of the no's. And so when you are purposely seeking out those no's because you're purposely asking enough people, you will find the yeses too. So I hope that my responses today helped you to learn how you can turn those negatives into positives. There's always a positive spin on what everybody says, and sometimes that's hard to do. It's definitely something that takes practice, and three-way chats with your upline is a great way to get some of that practice in and just to see how some of those responses are worded. When do you start asking? I start asking, sometimes in my pre-post, people will be like, oh my gosh, my whole kitchen is Pampered Chef. I reach out to those people during the pre-posts. Usually around the Q&A post time is when I start talking to people. So anybody that has commented on the Q&A posts, I pull those people out into Messenger and I just thank them for commenting and participating. I think something about them, whether they're just like the funny person that's commenting on the funny, like with funny posts, but I use my tagline that I posted. I know it sounds weird, but how do you know when to ask? Yeah, Q&A. So I really just try to pick the right person. Yes, Janelle, like you. I really just try to pick the right time based on their comments. So if there's somebody that's commenting a lot, then I thank them for commenting and I strike up conversation. I also always have at least one game in the party where they have to respond to me with the answers in a private message, and that is a good way to get started with conversation when they send you the answers. And I usually just say, thank you so much, I hope you're having fun, or has this been fun for you, or do you need any help with anything? Just some type of question where they have to respond, and then I get going. All I need is one response, and then I can get going. Good questions. Yes, those games are super helpful. Really, you just want an open door. And if I don't get an open door, I try to make an open door. What other questions? Hashtag. We're all about hashtags, huh? So what y'all think about my top 5 reasons? Are those reasons you see? How do you overcome the fear of no? Since I'm so new, I'm afraid of recruits to still learn the ropes. Yes. So the fear of no and the fear of recruiting is kind of the same. Fear of no, really, you want no's because no's mean they're answering and responding, and no's mean you're asking. So the fear of no is really just a fear of asking. And I think it's really that you have to be cognizant of, I say this a lot to you guys on my team, but it's really not about me. It's really about what Pampered Chef and our team has to bring to somebody else. We really are a family, and we want to include them in that family and the support that they're going to have in life in general because they're on our team. But you never know what that person's going through in life and what they might need. And the opportunity that Pampered Chef can bring to them can be something major. I try to share my story with everybody on our team and what it's meant for us personally. And so you just never really know what it could mean for them. So I know it sounds maybe blunt, but just try to remember that it's not about you, it's about them and what you have to offer them. So same thing, Janelle, even though you're brand new, you never know what the opportunity could mean for them. And just because you're new doesn't mean you're alone. So anybody you recruit, I will also be helping you with. They'll be added to the team and be treated just like the team will be helping you. Hi, thanks for joining. So it's just Q&A time. If you have questions about recruiting, I'm here for about the next 15 minutes to answer questions about recruiting. You're welcome. Sometimes it's hard when you're trying to learn it all at the same time. You're brand new, it's a little overwhelming, you're trying to get your bookings going. Don't forget about that fast track though, when you fast track to director and the bonuses that happen with that. So don't be afraid to recruit right out the gate. How did you change your mind from a kidnapper? Honestly, it was the virtual parties that changed my mind. when I got started, nobody on our team was doing virtual parties, and so I had tried 6 other direct sales companies before. I knew that going into people's homes and talking to people in the grocery store about what makeup they wore was not my thing. I knew with a 60-hour work week that there was no way that I was going to be able to do a ton of home shows. I try to do one a month when I can, but you know, for me it was finding that virtual thing. So I went on to Charlotte's group, and I read every comment from the past 6 months to understand what virtual parties were, what was involved. And yes, that took a lot of initiative on my part to learn that, because there wasn't really anybody for me to ask. But it was well worth it. And then I ended up creating the outline for that whole 13,000 member group for July of last year. And that's really what got started. And then I started doing them for our team since then. So finding what fits. That's how I got over it. How do you track the not nows? I have a prospects list on my phone. Like, you guys know me, I'm not a paper person, but somehow, some way, make a list. And I actually put reminders in my phone to go back to the not nows and when it's a catalog change. So right now is a great time to go back to your not nows from the spring. How do you handle those fence sitters? So the fence sitters, that's a funny group of people. The fence sitters we put into our So You're Thinking About a Pampered Chef business group. And that group has everybody from my upline to upline and down, and all of us add people to it. And about 3 or 4 times a month we post the specials, we post something cool about the business, something they would want to know, and then we invite them every other week to the virtual Look and Learns, where it's a 1-hour event that we're posting everything about the company. And then I'll run specials. Honestly, for those fence sitters, I'll run specials like $20 off your kit, and sometimes that's enough to get them. But I think it's really just in the follow-up. Those fence sitters, it's in the follow-up, and it's finding out what their fear really is on saying yes, and it's addressing that fear. And sometimes that means you have to be really blunt and flat out ask them. Say, I believe in you. I think you would be amazing at this. What is your fear? How do you keep track of contacts made and their statuses? Again, I have that prospects list on my phone, and I keep notes about each one of them, and I'll go back to them at least once a month and try to make sure. But on the Director Bound Participant Guide that is in Consultant's Corner, if you just search it, there is a sheet that you can print off as a tracker. Janelle, former fence sitter. Yeah, girl, you made me work for it, but we're so glad that you chose us, and I knew it would be a good fit for you, so it was just helping you realize it was a good fit for you. How do you handle kidnappers? Well, since I was one of them, I handle them in the same way. I try to figure out what it is for them that would make a difference. I try to hit them in the heart, find out what would make a difference for them and what type of party would be the best type of party for them. How do you handle $20 off your kit and other specials regarding that? Once they sign up, then I either offer to buy them something at their first party, or I send it to them via Facebook Pay. I'm a first recruit signing up this week. It's exciting. How did you do with your first? My first recruit became my first director, who was also my first host, Emily. She's amazing and a total go-getter. So she was really easy because we were learning it together. I also have some amazing upline directors in my group that helped me with her, and we created a really awesome Strong Start program. And so we put all of our new recruits through the Strong Start program, and honestly adding them to the team. So I have a Facebook Messenger group, and then we have a Facebook group. And so they have lots of ways to reach out for support and become a part of the team. And that way it's all about us together and not just about me and that recruit. How do you motivate them to start their business? I just tell them to get started. I ask them to pick a date right out of the gate when they're going to have their launch party. And then I'm there with them on their lunch party, and I'm giving them tips. Or they'll let me know as they have questions in their first parties. And I help them through that way, but I tell them that the key is just getting started, and you'll learn as you go. You don't need to know everything to get started. Are there any no-nos when it comes to recruiting? Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Any no-nos? Don't bash other companies just to try to get them to join yours. I guess that's funny that you would ask me that. That really is my answer, because I think everybody has a right company for them, a right business for them. I try not to make it about me. I try not to make it about other companies. I try to figure out why Pampered Chef is a good fit for that person, and why they might be a good fit and our team might be a good fit for them. There are certain personalities, as you guys know, there are certain personalities that do better with certain teams. And so I have actually talked to a few people that I have said, you know what, I don't think my team is the right fit for you, but I know somebody's whose might be, and I've given them to them because I knew that they wouldn't do well on our team. Our team is extremely forward thinking and very virtual, and that's not how this person wanted to be. So it's all about the right fit. Good questions. What else? Are there any other responses that you guys get or reasons that people say no that I haven't addressed today? Both Crystal and Helena make sure that your recruit knows about the $12.50 bonuses. So the first 30 days and the first 90 days, Pampered Chef dollars, that might help too. If you could go back to the beginning, what's one thing you do differently with recruiting? I would have that strong start from the beginning. I didn't have it for a little while. We created it as we went. But having things, breaking down the website in a way that makes it easier to digest in chunks, I think is important. I still think we have a little ways to go, and I'm excited for the new website to help with that and the checklist that they're sending out. I think that will make all the difference in the world for us in recruiting, so I'm excited for that. Okay, you've gone over the prospects list, but what happens if someone signs up under someone else and doesn't tell you after you introduce them? You mean like you put them in the So You're Thinking About group and they signed up under somebody else? Or are you talking about like you? So I put you in and you signed up under Kim. It doesn't matter to me. You're still on my team. And I'm still going to work with you the same way I would, because when two people sign up pretty much at the same time, I'm just thinking that I'm working with them the same way. But if they sign up under somebody else that's not on the same team entirely, then I would definitely talk to your upline about that. That's kind of shady. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they were talking to two people at the same time. It has happened to me. I've had somebody sign up under somebody else that I was talking to, and I just attribute it to maybe they were needed on the other team. How often do you wait in between contacts with the same person? So I do kind of a 3-day rule at first, and I check in on them on 3 days and then 1 week out. And if nothing at 1 week, then I wait another week. And if nothing at that, then I just put them kind of on a monthly rotation where I do my monthly follow-ups and I tell them about the new specials going on. I put them in that So You're Thinking About group. We put them on the Look and Learns, and then I just continue to follow up every month. And then if it's seeming like they're just not answering month by month, then as the seasons change and the catalog changes, then I let them know that at catalog change is an awesome time to join. Sorry, I keep looking away, guys. I have 6 parties closing, so I'm trying to still answer them too. Yay! 2 sets. Use those catalogs. So mini catalogs, that's something I didn't really talk about because for me that's more of a sales thing, but I leave those mini catalogs everywhere. I order about 200 of them every time, and I leave them at every restaurant when we go out to eat with my bill. I leave them pretty much at every store I walk into at a counter. Every doctor's office I go into, I leave one on the counter there with all the other magazines. Everywhere I go, I leave those mini catalogs. Even for Halloween, instead of candy, I pass out the Halloween. I did the emoji cookie cutters last year, but I'm going to do the Halloween cookie cutters this year. And so every kid in a Ziploc baggie gets 1 cookie cutter and a mini catalog. Any more recruiting questions? I know we're about up on time. Always try to think outside of the box. We are not only competing against, Pampered Chef, but you're competing against other direct sales markets and the big box stores at the holiday times. So try to think outside of the box of ways that you can add value to somebody's life, that you can change their life. Whether it's through products or parties or offering them the opportunity. But my best advice to you, and the thing that I have learned the most from having this business, is that it is not about me, that I am serving a much bigger purpose in this business, and for me, God is using me in ways that He has never used me before with my team and building others up. And I just try to carry that through in my recruiting conversations, because I want to make sure that they realize that I am there to help them to be the best version of themselves that they can be. So try to be yourself, and try to remember that it's always about what you can offer them and about how this business can change their lives. Do you use the term direct sales when you are recruiting? No, I don't. Unless they specifically ask me about direct sales, I just say that I own my own business. If other hosts are direct sales consultants, at first I swapped parties, but I don't do that anymore. Or I will go in on like multi-vendor parties, but everybody has to eat. I go back to that, and even if they're selling Lip Sense or LuLaRoe or whatever it is, they still have to cook too. You don't have to wear leggings and you don't have to wear lipstick, but everybody's eating, everybody's cooking, so you have something to offer them even if you don't want to buy from their company too. Great questions. Okay, well, I'm going to sign off. If you have more questions, post them here. Tag me if I'm not answering, because I don't always get all the notifications. But I hope that this was helpful for you. And we'll be posting, all of the videos. We have everything on here, so you can come back and look at it anytime you need to. Love you guys. Good luck to you, and have a wonderful harvest season, because this is the most exciting time ever to be a part of Pampered Chef. Enjoy it. Bye.